Howdy folks, Keywii here, and welcome back to Suzerain, a safe space in which would be awesome, where we sort of went back on our promise to our wife to be the person so we could get the reforms signed. It's very complicated, and I'm sorry. I'm meeting with Albin Calvin. Why can't it be Albin Calvin? On planned reforms. Albin Calvin. Grand National Assembly of Sordland. After our meeting with Gloria Tori and further discussions with the party and my cabinet, it was time to talk to Albin Calvin to get the reformist wing to support the proposal. I also plan to finally present a more fleshed out proposal and declare our agenda to the party after our meeting. I walked into the left wing of the assembly and entered the quarters of the USP. When I reached the meeting hall, I saw many of our members conversing inside. After taking a glimpse inside, I went back into the corridor to look for the office of Albin Calvin, which was around the back of the place. When I reached his room, I knocked on his door and entered. Mr. President, welcome. Man, a minute in, I'm already exhausted. The whole room was surrounded by bookshelves packed with files and papers. It was a small office, with books and dossiers lying on every corner. It felt claustrophobic. On his gesture, I took a seat. How's everything going, Mr. Calvin? Yeah, I'm not going to insult his office, his workspace. It's been busy. The party has been working very hard, Mr. President. Thank you for asking. How's it going with you in the palace? It's pretty tough. Feeling pretty good. Depends on our meeting today. I'm feeling pretty good, I'd say. That's good to hear. I wanted to express my gratitude for passing the Workers' Rights Act. It is one of my most comprehensive and successful political efforts. Workers' revolution will begin with small steps. It was the right thing to do because our workers were suffering for decades. The party effort had to be supported. You and I see eye to eye on many subjects, including this one. See, plant the seed in his head. We agree. You agree with me. Music to my ears. It wouldn't be possible without Pascal Benawal's report. The labor union and several NGOs like Magna Cartas also contributed to the campaigning. God damn it. I have to say, the close collaboration between the palace and the party is going well. Looking forward to what we can accomplish with the reforms. Albin smiled and knocked on wood. Anyway, sir, let's talk about the proposal. Actually, one moment, hang on. Need to grab something. My wrist is bothering me. Anyway, sir, let's talk about the proposal. Thanks for coming for my support. Thanks for coming here for my input, because there are some subjects where Gloria and I don't see eye to eye. I have to say that most of the progressives were already starting to warm up to you. Your attempt at changing the Constitution created quite a bit of excitement. One could dare to say an excitement that hasn't been felt since the 30s. Yet there are some issues with the current status of the draft proposal, so we may need to contain our excitement a little longer. I suspect that Miss Tory had a lot of influence on this proposal, but I cannot support this in its current state. I need your support, Mr. Calvin. I thought you were a Democrat. Ooh, don't insult him. Party should respect my decisions. I need your support, Mr. Calvin. A fact that I'm aware of. But at this point, even my support would not be enough. Tell me the issues. How can I get your support? Where to even begin? Reformers were expecting reform about the term limits. Why is that not included in the proposal? That wasn't a priority. This is only my first term. It's too soon to begin term limits. We can address that today. Term limits. Right, and I agree with this, though. Like, you know, you can be elected as many times as people want to elect you. That wasn't a priority. What is a priority for you, Mr. President? Limiting the legislative power of the Supreme Court, balance The division of powers, bringing down the Constitution of Seoul. You should have read our manifesto. Balance and division of powers. Fair enough. He looked down at the proposal. There might still be a way for me to get behind this. This is not enough, Mr. President. We can take another look over the draft, or perhaps there is something else you could offer me. Let's look at the draft again. I will give concessions. Sure, I'll offer you something else. I'm all ears. Collusion? If you give us your support, you will be my VP in my next cabinet. Well, I can't do that. I'll put a position in my cabinet. How about this? Show him a check. I took out a check and showed it to him. It immediately got his attention. That was very direct. How much are we talking about here? A lot. And I'll go with one personal wealth. I don't need that much personal wealth. Are you kidding? He took the check and slid it into his pocket of his jacket. Glad to be making business with you. He glanced at the proposal on the table. It's looking good. I will support the proposal and get the needed signatures from our wing. I believe the reformist votes that I have will be very important to you. Who knows, maybe you'll consider me for a job in the government in the future for this. I bet I will, Mr. Clavin. I'll consider you if you prove yourself useful in the vote. Worthy. If you prove yourself. Oh, you know I will, Mr. President. I will talk to my guys shortly. I have their signatures then? Thank you, Mr. Clavin. See you in the conference, Mr. President. I left his room and went back to the corridor. Now, I bet he's going to be like, oh, I didn't take the blah, 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 and the president bribed me or some shit. I don't know. Went to the restroom of the assembly to get something to eat while conversing with other members of our party. I saw Albin talking to his people in the distance. After a while, the preparation for the conference began, and I went back into the conference hall and prepared my notes for the speech I was going to make. It took time to get all the present members of the party inside the hall. Gloria Tori announced me for the stand. I walked up to the stand as everybody in the room started clapping. Yeah, I absolutely would have. If I did this last episode, I straight up just would have been like 40 minutes into this point. Ladies and gentlemen of the party, dear members of Assembly, brothers and sisters of United Sordland. Brothers and sisters of United Sordland, I come here today to announce the agenda for the future of our country. Started my speech with the reasons of the changes to the Constitution. People of Sordland have spoken. Our system and institutions have increasingly become undemocratic. The Supreme Court is blocking the future. Our system and institutions have become became undemocratic over the decades after Seoul tightened his grip on the country. Since then, we have a Supreme Court that obstructs the duties of the President and the Assembly. We must finally be brave enough to go against the status quo that they created and write a new constitution. I paused when some people started clapping, but it was short-lived. After taking a breath, I continued. Talk about democracy. Talk about why USP needs this to survive the next elections. I'm gonna do less targeting. Talk about democracy. I brought attention to democracy and why we must write a new, more democratic constitution. I explained how our proposal will fix the issues. Left side of the hall where Albin sat started applauding. Later, I explained the contents of the new constitution and asked for their full support for the proposal. Ask for their votes, order them to vote yes, threaten them to vote yes, ask for their votes. I asked for each and every member's vote to make a change together. The reformist wing on the left stood up and started clapping loudly after Albin Clavin made a sign. Soon after, most of the party members stood up and joined in. I saluted everybody in the room one last time and bid them farewell before leaving the stand. I walked outside the assembly and back into the palace. Excellent. Decreased. Oh, right. I'm just like, what? President meets the USP. Today, President Rayne has met with his party members in a party meeting in the Grand National Assembly of Sordland, where the current situation of the country and future plans of the party were likely discussed. It was later reported that President Rayne used the meeting to give a speech to the party and announce the contents of the new draft of the new constitution. How many times can you say "of the"? The details of the meeting were not made public, nor what the draft contained. Anything else? Anything else? No, no. Okay, let's take a look at the highway before we hit continue. Balance and power in Eastern Merkova. Is this chapter 3? Hello? Loading. Excellent. This is the ocean above our... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Get out of that. Get out of that. It was looking like up here. The Markian Sea. Alright, well, let's see what we have situated going on. This should be turn 5, I think. Alright, briefing on the status of immigration regulation. Religious Harmony Bill. Sign or veto the Religious Harmony Bill that has been approved by the Grand National Assembly. For the purposes of increasing religious harmony and unity, the following laws are established in religious affairs. Section I of the RHB will ensure that the day of dissension ceremony in the Arch Sanctuary of Dare shall from now on only hold sermons in the Sordish language. Section 2 will forbid sanctuaries from holding sermons in Bluidish unless they receive approval from the Archpriest of Sordland. Section 3 will enforce that all priests applying to be state-sanctioned have Sordish descendants and be able to receive their salaries and pensions. We can't discriminate against the Bluidish any harder than we already are. We need to not do this. Now, this is gonna... Oh, God. It sucks. Alright, hang on. The radical. Ooh, for the... Alright. Archaic state of Sordland's conscription laws. Dear reader, I ask you this. What year are we in? 1880s? 1920s? The matter I'm writing about is, of course, mandatory military service again. In times when there are no active wars, why do we still need to have these archaic conscription laws? Let me answer that. It is because someone profits from it. Not only does this make the warmongering soulless happy, it also works out for large defense corporations. The oligarchs are now swimming in money while we still have to send our children away when they come of age. We are in the modern age. If we want to modernize Sordland and catch up to the superpowers, we want to lose the militaristic identity so that we can intellectually prosper. Mandatory conscription laws need to go. Can't do that, we're about to be attacked. Rayne to meet with Smolak and Van Houten. Sordland is embarking in a great geopolitical gamble with the new trade initiative organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The hope is the solidification of relations with the old ally Agnolia and the troublesome neighbor Welland, with the aim of regaining some of the regional diplomatic influence the country used to have. Each of these countries have different agendas, which will create some difficulties for President Rayne. PM Van Houten, who was elected through a powerful democratic movement, wants to reimagine trade with Sordland, while President Smolak of Welland is looking for new foreign investments and security cooperation against rebellious Bluidish movements at the border. Lesbia and Volksland are watching Sordland's action very closely and are sure to react to any sort of balance of power shift. Religious Harmony Bill. Well, we already got shit on for the whole Bluidish thing. I need to veto this. We just can't do it. Sorry. Radical. President Rayne protects religious freedoms. President Rayne has recently vetoed the outrageous Religious Harmony Bill. The bill was aiming to limit the freedoms of Bluidish people in Sordland. The MP to propose this bill was, of course, Kisaro Kibiner, the leader of the NFP himself. Mr. Kibiner has never stopped his attack on Bluidish people, and we are sure that he will continue his racist onslaught and his attempts to further divide the country. President Rayne's decision to veto this discriminatory bill, which was a clear attack on religious and personal freedoms, will be welcomed by Bluids and Swords alike. Excellent. Last thing I want is to piss off more of my people. Now, I can piss off the government. It'll suck, but I can. but also I can't piss off the people themselves. We need stability, especially when we're in debt. The Ministry of Health has begun working on a health report with a proposal to allow privatization in the health system, potentially generate new resources for the ministry. Mr. Benawal is personally overseeing the discussion and the report with top sides, including members of the National Business Council. Ooh. Private Party of the Gentlemen's Club. Villa of Peter Vectern Ellery. Or Lori. Alright, let's first go to the briefing on the status of immigration regulation. We were in the middle of a meeting in the palace about our immigration policy. The ensuing discussion quickly became heated. I don't think so, Mr. Whiskey. It just doesn't make any sense to me that a foreign citizen should come before a Swordish citizen in Sordland. Well said. My analysis is also in line with this, especially during the economic recession. We are giving Swordish jobs to migrants from other countries. What about our own people? Immigrants are the reason our economy is not completely unsalvageable. Look at Agnolian immigrants to England. They have revitalized the whole region and in turn boosted the economy of the entire country. Simon can attest to that. Statistically speaking, allowing immigrants to become part of the workforce contributes to our economy, but I agree that the current situation is very nuanced. With that said, we can't just tighten our immigration policy and expect the economy to stay the same. We need to put our economy and the recession at the forefront. Gentlemen, can we please get back on topic? Right, sorry, Mr. Whiskey. As I was saying before I was interrupted. Look at the superpowers. Do you see them closing off their borders? Why do you think their economies are in such good shape? They are in their current state because they welcome immigration. They use it to their advantage. We need to modernize and reach the level of the superpowers. I agree that we need to consider the economic impact of immigration. British citizens must come first. Economics, recession, money, it's all very vitally important. Our money flow should be at our utmost concern if we want to have the capability to accomplish actual change. We need a decision, but before we move on, Mr. President, do you have any questions about the current state of immigration? What is the current legal status of immigrants? How many immigrants live in Sordland? How do immigrants usually arrive here? I don't have any questions. Let's move on to solution. No, I'm curious. So, what's the legal status? Currently, all accepted immigrants are given a work permit on arrival so that they can work and contribute to the economy of Sordland. There is currently no limit on the number of immigrants accepted. However, the number has remained stable over the past years. Despite the laws, the fact is many immigrants legally work for corporations. That is the main issue with immigration right now, not the immigration itself. Nonsense. If not for the unlimited amount of immigration, we wouldn't be in this state. How many immigrants live in Sordland? Official numbers show that we have anywhere between 2 to 3 million immigrants residing in Sordland. Even excluding the countless undocumented aliens in our midst, that is a very substantial amount. The primary issue is the strife they cause between less fortunate Sordid citizens and themselves. Including them in the workforce would benefit everybody, including unemployed Swords. More taxes means more services. Also more people joining the military, Mr. Dude. How do immigrants usually arrive here? There are 3 major paths they choose. The first one is England to Agnolia border, the second is the Bergia to Welland border, and the third is the Loren coast. Ah, excellent. Agnolians are the largest group. It's a light border over there, although recently political fugitives from Volksland have been crossing the Great Sea by boat to land on our coast. persecuted Wezek refugees tend to be the most dangerous mountain pass. Tend to use the dangerous mountain passes at the Welland border. Many of them have bluish blood. Let's move on and see what we can be done about the immigration situation. Very well. David Whiskey opened his dossier and stamped the seal of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Before we make any decisions, I have to remind you. During the elections, we promised to keep our immigration laws relaxed, which I think is the right course of action. I disagree. We're supposed to control and reduce the negative effects of immigration, like crime and subversion. Oh god, they subverted. I see your point, Losef, but the economy certainly benefits from more immigration. That's a thing most people don't even seem to understand. Immigration is straight up very good for your economy. I veto the... Like, people are just like, oh, they take our jobs, and oh, we're poor now. The economy grows. Yeah, you personally are affected, but not everyone. Internal order, on the other hand, suffers immensely. We should tighten the laws to prevent further chaos. David sighed wearily. This is going nowhere. We decide to tighten immigration. What does that entail? We would have to impose quotas and, connected to that, stricter border control. On top of allowing our economy to take a hit. Mr. Hall, surely the well-being of the citizens and our internal security will more than compensate for any downturn in the markets. Agreed. Sort of citizens should take priority. What are the consequences of keeping our immigration policy relaxed? Aside from keeping us on the path to prosperity, modernity, and continuous improvement, not much. Wow, you sound incredibly biased. Our current system is good for our era. We also have the capacity. This will allow us to continue protecting investments from foreign countries, which in turn will keep our trade steady. We would be more trustworthy partners. Stability draws money. Stability? What stability? We're already seeing clashes between our people and foreign interlopers. On the contrary, the only way we can achieve stability is through tightening our immigration policy. You heard the lady. Sordland first. Okay, dude, you need another line. I'm ready to make a decision. Yes. Everyone lean forward, eager to hear my response. We will keep immigration laws relaxed. We tighten our laws. I'll sign the decree soon, so be prepared to start working on it, Mr. Whiskey. We fucking need it, my dude. I'm spending our money. We need people to make it for me. I'm glad you made the right choice. No, I made the choice very much so in his line of thinking. We will be forced to handle new waves of migrants from Magnolia. Our border posts aren't ready. Not only that, but we've just abandoned the native swords who need our support the most. Also, this will bring a new tide of refugees from Welland. Bergia is already a difficult region to manage. This is shameful. We're not leaving Sordland unprotected is a logical decision. A decision to finally reversible time to move on. Since the Sordland aren't forgotten, our work for them continues. And now they will compete with foreign immigrants just to put food on their tables. Yeah, you're leaning heavy into the guilt there. I'm disappointed in you, Rayne. Anything else? Anything else, Mr. President? Thank you for contributions. Let's wrap this up. Let's end the discussion and get back to work. There are changes to be made. I want everybody here to get used to the new changes. This is our new direction. Let's end this discussion and get to work. This is our new direction. Ministers gathered their documents and rose from their chairs, some with frowns on their faces. I am looking forward to the upcoming trade talks. Peter and I have been visiting Stallport and Rocklowitz in preparation. I'll be coming along to talk with the economy minister. Looking forward to the potential partnership. If we're finished, I need to head off and get the military to work on the new policy. Same here. Our border units need to be informed and prepared. Yes, we are finished. Keep up the good work. The ministers dispersed. Alright. Others. Hey, look at that. Joan Gasmich? Sordish communist revolutionary, Anglo-Sordish descent, activist, founder, former leader of the Red Youth. He was arrested after the ban of Red Youth and is currently being held in Antal Rock Prison. Gasmich studied in Arvory. I don't have time to read all of this. Following the ban, he was arrested and imprisoned. That's not good. Order? Ooh, streamline immigration. Nationwide protest quelled. Hey! Oh, thank God! Stability is on the way. Oh, man, it sounds so good. Latest immigration policy closed loopholes, reduced illegal migrants, and streamlined legal immigration processes. Nothing else going on here. I guess this. Relaxed immigration laws streamline and shorten the immigration process, incentivizing immigrants. Our country will grow. Sordland will grow. Actually, hang on, before that. Oh, we got 2 reports to read. Ooh, reports. Here's a report from Vesord Red Youth Hideout raided. Vesord Police has organized a raid early in the morning in an abandoned building in the city of Vesord under suspicions of hiding Red Youth members inside. The successful raid arrested 8 militants. 2 military-grade assault rifles and bomb-making equipment have been secured. Interesting. Editor of Radical is suspected of helping terrorists. Uh-oh. Source intelligence reported that John Dandard, the famous journalist and columnist of the Radical, is suspected to be working for the terrorist organization Red Youth. According to the report, Dandern had continuously published anti-government articles and repeatedly attempted to report on state secrets countless times. Moreover, he has publicly endorsed Red Youth in the past and promoted that ideals. Radical. State continues its war. Earlier today, Joan Gasmich, one of the leaders of the Red Youth, was arrested on his way to Benfey. Police said he was planning to escape Sordland with the help of a cargo ship from the port of Benfey to Ravenous Island, which is this one. Following his arrest, a group of militants fired at patrolling police officers in the city of Valgan. After the incident, which saw no deaths from either side, the city was plunged into chaos, with the opportunistic looters flocking to the streets. Soon after, riots began in the largest neighborhoods of the city, which was stopped after the arrival of riot police to the scene. I'm such a big fan, such a big fan of everything going on. But despite being only 28 minutes in instead of my usual 30, I'm going to say thank you guys so much for watching here, because the only thing to do, other than read, which I don't want to do on camera because I'm losing my ability to read, is to do a scene and also reading. But also, I don't want to start a scene now and end it at like 45 minutes. So that'll have to be for this one. I love each and every one of you. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.